Awesome. That was October 16th, a single released by In Blue. And I really love his music. I really do. And he's got an amazing style. It's kind of like well, I don't want to impose, but it reminds me a lot of Palms, the Chino Moreno side band. I shouldn't call it side band, but I love Deftones, and so let's call it a side band. Yeah, it reminds me of Palms a lot. And well, I guess you could say that a lot of Chino Moreno in general, well, it's like he follows a certain wave, like a style, and he enjoys that in other bands. It's funny I say wave because he says that in like most of his lyrics. But yeah, no, In Blue, October 16th is the name of the single. Very dope, very dope. And this episode, well, first off, this show is explicit, so you should know that. If you have never listened to my show, you should know. It's very explicit. This is also a Kapuhuna production.
Kapuna, kapuna, kapuna.
That's right. That's right. What was that?
Kapuna.
Kapuhuna. Yeah. Which means that it is everywhere. It is all over the place. It is a lot like Mr. Chow. Um, it is a lot like air, nitrogen. It's a lot like H2O, which is even found in space. Actually, that's a huge thing. A lot of people think outer space is just empty vacuum, but that's not true at all. It's an ocean, and there's all kinds of particles flying through it, coming from the sun mostly. But yeah, no, this show is about loneliness, actually. And it's a power. It's a superpower. It really is. You become that super man or woman. Because in the loneliness, you feel. You allow yourself to feel. Most of the time in today's world, we're so distracted and we're so stuck. We have so many distractions all around us trying to get our attention. And they take our attention. Not only do they take it, while not giving us anything, but they want more. Ads, advertisement, and such, right? Everything is an ad nowadays. We even treat our friends like they're ads in our spam folders half the time, which is horrible. Horrible. I do not condone that. I'm a very personable person. I like to talk to people. That's because I spent most of my life lonely. I did an episode way, way back, like in the beginning, in the way beginning, about King Kamehameha from Hawaii. Not the Dragon Ball Z move, Kamehameha. No, not that. Not that at all. No, King Kamehameha of Hawaii. He was the first king to unite all the islands as one. He didn't conquer all of the islands, as a lot of the Hawaiian songs say. No, he couldn't get Kauai, but he did unite the islands. And there was a prophecy about him, actually. It's a lot like the Moses prophecy, actually. The The prophecy was that a person would be born and he would conquer all of the islands. One of the kings did not like that at all. I think he was a ruler in Oahu or something, and he did not like that. So he sent out soldiers to go and slaughter all the newborn baby males. But he did not get one. The parents of one of the child, uh, they took him to to go stay with his grandparents in the forest, where he'd grow up until everything was forgotten. Well, he grew up with his grandparents, and they named him Kamehameha, which means the loneliest one, or the lonely one. But Meha is a term that means it means lonely, right? And to double it up, that means like really lonely, which is how a lot of the old ancient ways were, the old ancient languages of all across the world. If you look at it, the most ancient language, that's how they worked about things. To amplify something, you would just double the word of context. A lot of people say it as primitive languages, but I don't think that at all. I think they were just more in tune with light language. In any sense, he grew up. King Kamehameha grew up by his grandparents, and they taught him the ways of Hawaii. They taught him the virtues, the values, the arts, the ways of the warrior, how to create things. But they didn't teach him too much about the faultiness, the really, well, you could just say the sins that we have. And just as so, when he came to face those things in society, when he grew up enough and he was old enough to leave the forest, well, he intermingled and he had a tough time. He had a very tough time. Now, he was strong-willed, with a strong mind, healthy body. And he was eager to make friends, eager to know people, to get to know people at a personal level. This did eventually help him get to know a lot of people. People loved him. But people also hated him. Let's not forget. You see, the thing is that anytime you have a identity, a person, and they're very good-hearted, well, we tend to think that they're full of themselves and that they think that they're better than us. Why is that? Well, it's simple, really. It's because we feel shame, because we feel that they are better, they're acting better than us, because they are acting better than us. They are doing things in a more righteous way than us. They are fulfilling their virtues and virtues that we fail at. And we do not want to feel ashamed that we don't meet that because of this one fallacy that we have. We all have this. And the fallacy goes that everybody thinks that they are the most righteous person. Isn't that funny? Even people that do crimes, they feel that they're righteous in it. You know, they have their reasonings and their convictions and their ideas about the world around them, and they feel that they're righteous in the crimes. This is always the case. That's why we, as humans, do our sins, have our faults, and not take responsibility for how they might harm others sometimes. But in the feeling of shame, in the feeling of realizing our hypocrisies, realizing that we did wrong, and wanting to amend that, well, then we take a step up. It might feel like we're, taking this a step down and falling down, but really, no, we're going up. We're taking a step up because we're we're fulfilling the true virtues of the heart and the soul and the light. And we realize that a lot of those things, those former excuses, let's call it, the excuses that brought us to these really negative convictions about our actions and what we should do in life, well, those were all based on fears and weaknesses that we had. We never see it until we're at that point. We never notice it in society or each other or ourselves, especially in ourselves. It takes a long time. It takes sometimes a lot of pain. But it does not have to be that way. Because if we can empathize, if we can have our hearts open, then we can feel for others and we can learn as though we are them. We become wise because we experience things in a multitude of dimensional fashion. We don't have to just experience things from our perspective. We can experience things from other people's perspective by putting ourselves in their shoes. It really only takes caring. As I told a friend recently, it just takes caring to care enough. Empathy goes a long way. And as I always say, maybe even all the way. And I do believe it goes all the way. King Kamehameha, well, he was all about virtues. He was all about the kapu, which is the kapu system. The kapu system was a system of spiritual laws that the Hawaiians would go by. Very strict, very strict. Some of them were punished by death, and some of these rules were punished by beating. Some of them were just very much shunned. But even though the Hawaiians themselves used to war a lot and have a lot of intense battles, the kapu system, more or less, was whole. These were laws based on a spiritual ground, coming from a spiritual level of understanding. And being a lonely one, they would make sense. Being a lonely one, they would be understood as the thing that one would empathize with naturally in the world around. Now, let me say one that I learned from my ability to empathize. This was a deep one for me. Well, some time ago, I was in a relationship, a long-distance relationship. And I was paranoid as fuck. And this is an explicit show, so I'm gonna say that.
Get fast in-home Wi-Fi that you can control with Xfinity XFi. See who's online, pause your Wi-Fi, or even set a curfew for the kids. That's simple, easy, awesome. Switch to Xfinity today and get a great offer. You'll get fast speeds and the best in-home Wi-Fi experience with Xfinity XFi. Plus, enjoy great coverage throughout your home and on the go. Even manage your in-home Wi-Fi network from anywhere when you download the Xfinity XFi app. Go to Xfinity.com, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit an Xfinity store to switch today. Restrictions apply.
I was paranoid as fuck. Had a rough childhood that had a element of disloyalty that my mom had for my dad, and there was cheating involved. And I brought that through into my adulthood. Well, in any case, in this long-distance relationship, I was not only paranoid, but I was on drugs, too. Now, I would be paranoid, and I was paranoid in many relationships, sober, that's horrible. But on drugs, I was way horrible. And I was way horrible to her. And the worst part about it, it was because I loved her. And my blindness was, it was horrible. But this is not about blaming myself or vindicating myself either. And this is not about tormenting myself, because I went through that a lot. I actually was going through that after the relationship was over. For months, I was distraught. But it was my own upbringing, right? I did that to myself. I brought it along because of my actions, my words, the things that I said, because of my fears that I would project. And they were rightful in the sense that I was gaslighted in the beginning. She cheated on me in the beginning. Happens a lot, by the way, for me. I don't fucking know. Last time I was pretty awesome about it, and I forgave her right on the spot, and she was cool about it too. But in any case, this other one that was some time ago, maybe like 4 years now. I don't know, 4 or 5 years, something like that. Seems like forever. Well, I was not too cool with her. She cheated on me, but she didn't tell me at first, and I knew it in my gut. I knew it, and my intuition told me that she did. And I kept on slightly, just trying to ask, but not ask because it's fucking rude. And after a month or so of me just feeling totally psychotic, I guess she must have noticed that it was that I could tell, an inner empathic psychic level. I guess I could tell. I knew, but I was telling my mind was telling myself that my intuition was wrong. Now, that's the thing, is that when you start to question yourself and you don't trust your own gut, and you trust somebody else's words over your own gut, that's really what causes the mental breakdown, I think. I should say. It causes a mental breakdown of a person. And it happens that's what gaslighting comes from, right? That's what the terminology comes from. It comes from an actual, actually a play, actually, that talked about that. But in any sense, yeah. So my intuition was right, and when I found out it was right, at first I tried to forgive her, and I thought I did too, but it just made things worse, and it made me paranoid. Right. Now, I spent most of my childhood alone. I daydream about romance, but I didn't have much friends, and I didn't talk to nobody really, I didn't talk at all until I was an adult. But, yeah, no, so when it came to that, after I had faced all that shit, and I had felt horrible for it for months, I beat myself up about it, which is maybe not a good thing to do, but in my ironic life, in the ironies of my life. Well, I'm glad it happened. I'm glad I put myself through that pain. Because in the one instance, in the one moment, I think maybe like a year later or so after that, a friend that, well, I had asked him a question, and I had been asking him about a question, because he seemed kind of weird about it. I didn't know why, that's a different story, but it was simple as this. He said, don't you know that it hurts to be questioned so much? And it was like a boom right then and there. It was like and there was a lot more to the story, but I have the time to go into all that. But everything had led up, all the synchronicities had led up perfectly aligned in order for me to see that as I questioned anything in the world, I was questioning God. And I was also questioning myself, because I am that, right? In oneness and total truth, when you look across upon the world, you're connected to everything. Everything is you. And as that light, as that love from the heart is also that. And God, well, that is God. Now, to fear a thing, to fear the darkness, even, well, we know in manifestation that creates the reality through it, right? It's the magic of it, the law of attraction. So to not fear is to face the self. And as I and a couple others that I've met along the way have done and found, it's amazing if you go all the way. Now, it does get more and more intense, of course. And as I've learned, everybody's path is different, so the perspective of how it looks and how it seems to be is different, But we always come to the same conclusion. You discover yourself as part of the Holy Trinity, and you find oneness. Now, just as any mystic, I'm sure, will tell you the same, and just as Jesus and Buddha and many others had did, well, you have to face the idea of evil itself, and you face it within. You face those emotions of negativity, the fears, and they come at you. It's funny how it works. It really is. Because the realm of thought, well, it's not like you have a thought and it's your thought. Nuh-uh, that's not how it works. We're more like receptors. And I've got thousands of psychics that I know that I could refer you to. And I've interviewed at least 90% of them, And I've had that's how many readings I've had, I've had a lot of readings. I've given a lot too, but my readings are different. I use astrology charts. I do not do just thought-based readings, which seems ironic, right? No, that's different. Actually, astrology is much more empathic in the sense of emotions. You read the chart and you see the emotional elements, the perspectives in a chart, the symbolic elements that would pervade, and cause reactions or instigate. And you put yourself in the person's shoes from each angle. Every sign being a element of perspective and a value, trying to withhold the value of each, because each sign has its values. And each sign has an opposite side, and the opposite sign has different values that are specifically opposite. A lot of astrologers, a lot of professional astrologers, don't even get that. And that's the weirdest part, you know? I was trained by amazing people, very amazing. I had four, I'll say four masters, and each one of a different sort, from a different place in the world, and very, very wise in astrology, all of them. And I've learned that as you go through it all, as you can empathize, the more you can empathize, the more lonely you are. That makes perfect sense, right? On the path to oneness, everything would simplify, as would synchronicity. And the one is the loneliest number. Sometimes we forget. Now, whatever anybody's storyline is, I know that you are on your path, especially if you're listening to this right now. That means you're humble. Most of people, well, they're not ready for certain knowledge. They're not ready for certain things. And this isn't a thing of pride for me to say at all, because it hurts to be lonely. I don't want to be lonely, but I have to speak my truth, right? And we say my truth, but I say my truth just to be polite to everybody, but in oneness, love is truth, and that's that. But yeah, it's been a lonely road for me, for sure. So I appreciate you listening to my show. I really do. I don't claim to know everything, and I don't claim to be the wisest or wiser. In fact, my hero is Temple Grandin, one of my heroes, and Temple Grandin is an autistic woman who proved to the world that every perspective, every living creature's perspective, every being's perspective, as she empathized with the cows and changed the entire farming industry from how she was able to see through the cow's perspective. Every perspective is beautiful and a miracle and wiser than any others in their perspective. As in, a fly can see its perspective better than anybody else can. Nobody can see the perspective of that fly like that fly can. I mean, he's got enough eyes, but that's not the point. Your cat can see its perspective and its wisdom better than anybody else can. You can empathize all you want, and you can get pretty close. But to see its perspective is its own gift. And there is unique, beautiful wisdom in that.
Stereo can provide.
Don't say it. Look, don't trip, okay? I'll tell you once more, okay? Baby steps. I said it twice before, still gotta say it again. Word for word, been for buck, I work for my rent. Some people talk a lot, but does it even make sense? Like tell my homies that I'm gamble now. I only invest, no joke I fuck with, only the best. Honor, respect, jealous of your mentor when you still baby step. That baby step and baby step it. Man, I be preaching the word. Silicon Valley, so they call me a nerd. David Sagittarius, so I teach what you learn. And I'm heated, feeling style, so I chill when I burn. Baby, repeat me like bird.
Don't try to bite what ain't earned.
Better say what you heard. My copyright to the perm.
Spit bars so hard you don't even wanna hear it. Cognitive dissonance, tripping providence, conjugal visit. Compliment the dance, but damn, where did you get it?
Spirit about it, I guess the Holy Ghost with it.
That's the Holy Ghost.
The Holy Ghost. No. The bass be enlightened, guess I'm waking him up. Proof is in the pudding and my belly be stuck. You think Mercury retrograde even give a fuck?
You retrograde don't give a motherfuck. Trippin'. Hella trippin'.
Crazy.
Man, I be preaching the word.
Silicon Valley and they call me a nerd. David Sagittarius, so I teach what you learn. And I'm heated, Phoenix style, so I chill when I burn. Baby, repeat me like bird. Don't try to bite what ain't earned. You better say what you heard.
Copyright to the perm. Spit bars so hard you don't even wanna hear it.
Cognitive dissonance, fishing compliments, mission is finished. Every goddamn duck face mimic.
To my double vision. I swipe right on all them bitches, K. Look, it's not new, something special.
I mean, when it's monkey see, monkey do. Hey, what's the difference if I swipe right?
All of them.
What's the difference?
How do you get to love yourself if you got no identity? Tell me that one. No sense. That's why I teach in the word. It's fine. In the word. That's why I teach in the word.
That prior song was Your Apartment by In Blue. And if you want to check out some of his tracks, I just threw in the comments a little link. So you could go down, check in the comments. It's right there. And that last song was all me. That was all me. That was Baby Steps. And you can find that song anywhere. You type that in, Baby Steps, you look up The Mystic Man. It's there. It's going to be there. Besides Bandcamp, actually. I've not yet put it on Bandcamp. So that will be soon. But anyways, much love. Uamau, Ke'ea, Oka'aina, Ikapono. The life of the land is perpetuated in righteousness. Not righteousness is in pompousness, but in the acts, in the integrity. And the verdict from the heart. Aloha oe.
And now, an ad from Dad.
All right, save money on car insurance when you bundle home and auto with Progressive. Can I take these off? All right. What is this? This looks good. Wow. That's well made. Where did you get this? I'm talking to you with the hair. Yeah, where did you get this? It's good stuff. That's solid. That's not veneer. That's solid stuff.
Progressive can't save you from becoming your parents, but we can save you money when you bundle home and auto. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Discounts not available in all states or situations.